Hello and welcome to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. And today we are, as always, going to be running through the Barcelona news, everything that's going on the Barcelona front, kicking off with the Rome debacle. Should we have been beaten and knocked out by Roma after what happened last night? Liverpool blitzing them in the Champions League. We'll be moving on as well to talk about the Barcelona youth teams. They were successful in the UEFA Youth League, and there's also been some big developments with Barcelona B. Then we'll be moving on to the captaincy of Barcelona, where that's going to be going next season, and Iniesta's expected departure this week, before we finally talk about Melo and some potential complications in bringing him in from Gremio. Could we actually pull the plug on the entire deal? Would the board be that stupid? We're going to look at all that and more in today's news roundup. Let's do this. But we are going to start, like I say, with last night's Champions League match between Liverpool and Roma. Obviously not strictly Barca related, but I think we all wanted to see how Roma were going to get on in the semi-finals. And I think, to be honest, this is what we all expected. Roma to go to the next stage and show really how bad and embarrassing our defeat to them was. They didn't belong in the semi-finals. They looked like that yesterday, losing 5-2 to Liverpool. And to be honest, that scoreline really does flatter them. It could have been any amount for Liverpool. Salah was outstanding, scoring twice and creating two as well. Firmino was brilliant. He scored two of the goals, and also Sadio Mane. There was some late goals from Dzeko, and then a very dubious penalty really by Perotti, which at least kept Roma kind of in the game. But it's going to be another miraculous comeback if they are going to get through this one. And they really did look yesterday like a bad team. Very poor defensively. Liverpool time and time again breached them, and it just begs the question, how on earth do we get eliminated by Roma? And I'm really sorry to have to bring this up again, guys, but I just genuinely, really looking at that game yesterday, it was frustrating. It brought back all those emotions, all that anger, all that frustration, all that hurt really of that night in Rome when we got beat 3-0, when we were inside our own half, when we looked scared of Roma, when we looked inferior to them, and how on earth we allowed that to happen. I look at Mo Salah yesterday, I look at Sadio Mane, two players who terrorised that Roma defence, really did, getting in behind them, really causing them problems with that raw pace they have. And then I think about that second leg, when Ousmane Dembele left on the bench until the 85th minute. We didn't use him, we didn't use any pace, we didn't get at Roma, we simply did not do enough. And it all comes back, of course, to Valverde's tactics, being defensive, being cautious, and not really going for Roma in the way that we saw Liverpool do yesterday. They were very, very bold, they were brave in their approach. Jurgen Klopp, of course, their manager, a very charismatic guy, wanted to go forward and get at them, and that's exactly what they did. It looks like Liverpool now are on their way to the final, and tonight, of course, we will go a long way really into finding out who joins them as Real take on Bayern in Munich. But now on to strictly Barca related topics, and that starts with, first of all, some big congratulations to the under-19 Juvenile A team who won the UEFA Youth League this week. They beat Chelsea in the final of that, 3-0, and they didn't just beat Chelsea, they absolutely demolished them. It was domination, it was fantastic play, there was some really good goals, and again, it really could have been any scoreline. Really impressive from the Barca youth side there. Marquez scored a brace, but Abel Ruiz also added to the tally, and a very, very impressive performance from Puig, the midfield player who really was outstanding in everything he did. And I think now, looking at this team, looking at these young players, these young starlets, the real key here is nurturing them, giving them the right development, giving the right platform to build on, and most importantly, the transition between this team, the Juvenile A team, to Barcelona B, and then that big step up to the first team, which we simply have not seen enough of in recent years. We've not seen us use our academy, La Masia, Juvenile A, Barcelona B. We haven't seen those used to the full potential they can do, and a lot of people will say, you know, the talent isn't there anymore. Yes, it is. Those players on show there in the UEFA Youth League were outstanding. They were everything that Barcelona want to be in terms of their identity, their qualities. We need players like that, and we need to make sure we're transitioning them much, much better than we have been. And with that exact fact in mind and more, it is with good news and very, very positive that I bring you that Gerard Lopez of Barcelona B has has been officially sacked. He's had his contract terminated, and it has been a long time coming. For a long time now, Barcelona B have been really poor performances. They don't look anything at all like a Barcelona team, and that's not how it should be. Barcelona B are not there just to grind out results. They are there to play the Barcelona way, to play the Barcelona style, have that identity, and then nurture those players so they're ready for the first team. They're not simply there to be a good side. That's not really what it's about. It's about development, it's about progression, and that's what Barcelona B is all about, and they haven't been good. They've not been winning in the league, they're in the relegation zone, and Gerard Lopez this morning was finally sacked by the club. But it's appointment of the man who's going to replace him, which is really exciting. Garcia Pimienta is going to replace him as the Barcelona B coach, and he, of course, is the man responsible for taking Juvenil A to the UEFA Youth League title, like I've just mentioned. He was the guy in charge of that. He's coming to Barcelona B now. Big step up for him. He's had an absolutely incredible year going from job to job, working his way up the Barcelona system, and it's going to be really exciting to see how he does, because in his first press conference today, he came out with a line, and I absolutely loved it. It was music to my ears, it really was. He basically said, I don't know any other way to manage than the Barcelona traditional style. That is me, that is the DNA of me, that's the DNA of my players, and that's the way we're going to be. And that, like I say, was music to my ears. To hear a guy coming in, embracing the Barca culture, we've seen that with the youth team, we've seen that in the way that he manages the younger players. Now it's a step up to Barcelona B. It is an uphill task. They're going to be very, very difficult to sort of lift them. Right now, they're in 20th position in the Segunda, their first season back, of course, in the Spanish second division. They are 2 points currently, though, from safety, with 6 massive games to go. But this is a team right now very low on confidence, very low on form. They have not won a game since mid-February. Very, very poor indeed, and I really wish the very best to Garcia Pimienta, and it's going to be interesting as well to see whether he calls on any of those Juvenile A players to come up, make that big step up, either in the next few weeks or looking ahead in the longer term, next season. There will be some players there, I'm absolutely sure of it. That is a good appointment. And now on to the topic of Lionel Messi, and the next Barcelona captain is going to be that man. Iniesta, of course, is expected to announce his departure any day now. It's likely to be announced officially on Friday that he is going to go to China at the end of the season, as we're all anticipating. Very, very sad news, of course. But in Iniesta's absence, we are going to need a new captain, and Lionel Messi is set to become that man. He's got captain, of course, a few times over the last few years. You know, when Iniesta's not been there, Messi has stepped in without any problem at all. Sergio Busquets then will be the second captain, but then the remaining third and fourth captain still need to be decided ahead of next season. Mascherano, who was one of the elected captains, he obviously left the club for China as well, and it's very, very likely indeed that Gerard Piqué is going to take up the role as the third official captain, and it's actually very surprising, really, that it's taken this long for Gerard Piqué to be one of the official captains. He's a leader, he's always very outspoken, isn't he? He leads by example, he's a voice on the pitch, on and off it, and I think he's a really good leader, and a very good decision, really, to make him one of the captains. Then there's the fourth captain, which could be anybody, really. Anybody will be up for that role. The players will basically vote and see who ends up in these top 4. But right now, according to the Barcelona media, Marc-Andre ter Stegen is a genuine candidate, and is a very strong one at that, for that fourth captaincy. And Luis Suarez, of course, very close friend of Messi, influential player on the pitch. He is also a candidate for that fourth captain spot. But Messi next season will be the Barca captain. And then finally, guys, it does bring me on to something which you can expect me definitely to rant about. Arthur Melo to Barcelona, something that we've all been very excited about, something that we've all driven home right from the beginning. We want Arthur at Barca, a young, talented, really good midfield player who can come in, develop at the club, really raise our ambitions in that midfield, because he fits the bill. He is the perfect profile for our midfield. We've been saying it over and over again now, and we have agreed a deal in principle to sign him. It is official, you know, Barcelona officially came out and said, we have a deal in place to sign Arthur. But what I would say right now is, that is not concrete. Nothing as of yet is signed. In the summer, they will have the opportunity to trigger that clause, 30 million euros plus add-ons, and right now, according to Mundo Deportivo, there is a debate going on at Barcelona whether they should indeed push through and complete that move as planned, or should they go in a different direction in midfield and bring in a more physical player. And at this point, I feel like headbutting my microphone. And seriously, guys, what is there to debate around? We do not need physical, brute strength players in our midfield. What is it going to take to get that idea and that message across to the board? That is not what we need. That's not what we've needed now for year upon year upon year. Now, a lot of people will say, you know, it's just a report from Melo Deportivo. You don't need to read anything into it. But the thing is, you read that and you can genuinely believe it, because that's the way the board think. That's why they bought in Paulinho for more than it's going to cost to get Arthur. They want these physical players. They want to take us away from the Barcelona that we know and love, and they cannot be allowed to do that. We need to sign Arthur. We need to sign these kind of profiles, and this physical nonsense is absolutely ridiculous, and I really hope this isn't true. We need to go through with this Arthur deal. We need to lose this physical, you know, getting players in who can be strong and can get in challenges. That is not Barcelona. We have technical players who don't need to be tall. They don't need to be strong. They don't need to be good in the air. Good on the ball, and they know their positioning. They know their awareness. They understand what we're trying to do, and all building towards the same philosophy. That's what we need. That's what we've been crying out for now, year upon year upon year, especially in that midfield role. And I really do hope at the very last stage here that nothing goes wrong with this Arthur deal. But I cannot understand why there is any debate going around, as Melo Deportivo reported just last night. So leave your thoughts on that, guys. When I read that, I was just so angry. On top of everything else, you know, watching Roma wipe the floor with Liverpool wasn't enjoyable. We should have been in that semi-final. We let ourselves down. We've let Lionel Messi down. Salah now being touted for the potential Ballon d'Or winner at the end of the season. Who knows what's going to go on with that, but just leave your thoughts down below, guys. What do you think of all the news that I have mentioned in today's video? What do you think the future looks like for Barcelona B? Will they escape relegation? Let me know all your thoughts and your opinions in the comments down below, and as always, guys, I will be back very shortly indeed with more videos. I'll see you then, but until then, as always, Vasca el Barça!
Masia!